We all have I think, responsibility not to forget where we came from. No matter what neighborhood you may grow up in, you always remember home. So when you tell stories about, there are always two stories, where you live now and where you came from. And the fondest stories tend to be where you came from.
Manchester covers about 180 acres in area. We are one of the largest African American nationally historically registered districts.
It is the only neighborhood in the city of Pittsburgh and in western Pennsylvania that has architecturally intact 2 solid blocks of Victorian architecture.
MCC is the acronym for Manchester Citizens Corporation. Built back in 1965 in an effort to make sure that the housing stock here in Manchester was not torn down. The goal of MCC is to reduce blight, vacant and abandoned buildings, making sure that we revitalize the community.
We have a strong central core here, we have a transitional core, and we have a weaker core. And as things continue to progress in the neighborhood, part of the neighborhood planning process is you don't begin in the strong part, you begin in the weak part, so that the weak part does not overtake your strong area. And Bridgeway Capital, in being a partner, is allowing us to do that. Junietta,
the project that we are working on with Bridgeway Capital, happens to be in that weaker area. If we look at some of the community development successes in Manchester, obviously one would be Renaissance One. Renaissance One was such a success that we figured we'd continue and do a Renaissance Two. Bridgeway Capital is a great partner in this, making sure that we are able to fulfill Junietta being part of our Renaissance Two. If you're facing Junietta's property and you look to the right of that, right down the street, it keeps the continuity with the Columbus Square project, another partnership after renovation and rehab would be making Junietta a single-family home. Obviously, 3-story basement, nice hardwood floors, a huge island in the dining room, living room area. The idea is when you're revitalizing that you are creating an upgraded neighborhood overall. When you start to begin to find people that search your neighborhood out as a neighborhood in which they want to live, something's going on right. If I were to look at success long term, that would be the continuation, making sure that it's completed, because all too often we get excited about, beginning a project and scattered things here and there. But if we start to look at the completion again of a neighborhood, then we don't stop until it's done. We continue to move forward, and we'll continue to work very closely with Bridgeway as a partner on this project and many others to come. You just can't find what we have here anywhere else, and I've traveled and worked all over the country, and I can tell you firsthand, we have treasure here.